Welcome back here, 2014 PSP Chicago Open. Third stop on the PSP Tour. Go to pspevents.com. Get your team in the fight for Riverside. Right now, huge game coming at you. Must-win situation for the 2013 World Champ San Antonio X Factor. I don't think they had some of their guys completely. Some travel madness happened with the crazy storms across the United States. And so they had a really tough day yesterday. 0-2, but some close games. Except for that Dynasty game. They got blown out by Dynasty 7-2. On the flip side, Tampa Bay Damage looking really good at this event. They defeated Houston Heat 5-4. And then they took down Upton 187 Crew 7-0. So pretty good point spread for them right now. But like I said, must-win situation for X Factor. Planet Eclipse Factory team there on your left. And then the Die Factory team, Damage, on your right. So on the breakout, X Factor losing a body, but Damage loses a body too, and Damage getting a major penalty, and they lost a body off the break, so 3 bodies will come off now.
Oh man, Dalton Vanderbilt getting a major penalty.
Or actually just two bodies.
Well, hey, welcome back Grayson Goff, coming out, shooting a body on the break, and having their guy get a major penalty. Didn't see Grayson Goff yesterday, steps in first point over here with X Factor and gets a kill for him.
But even with that disastrous happenstance of the major penalty, Dan Holliday, who is just might as well look at him go. Oh, but he got eaten up though. Nice work by Archie Montemayor. I was going to say, the opposing teams might as well just let Holliday start in the 50. But he runs a little bit too much to his death there, and it's just kind of a good move. Archie dipped back out. Todd, did you see that little duck and dive there that Archie did?
Duck, dive, slide, slip. The okey doke. That was great play right there by X Factor. Getting that major penalty is going to be a huge advantage for them on the break. Ramsey Al-Yusuf playing on that far side of field. And Dalton Vanderbilt was actually pulled on that penalty. So he's in the box right now for another minute and 11 seconds. As we talked about before, major penalty signified by a red flag. That is a 2-minute major penalty. Win, lose, or draw, you are sitting in that box for the full 2 minutes.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of them so far today. Most of them were on Upton 187 Crew in that last match. Looking in the pits, there's Colt Roberts, Colt 45, the killer. Man, he's having such a good year. Kill count is just ridiculous.
Ridiculous?
Ridiculous. That's nice. That's my new word for today.
Nice, TM.
Yeah, so let's check out this replay here. So on the replay, look at this move. Holliday had an aggressive start to this point, and Archie, knowing that Holliday was on his side of the field, was kind of pushed over a little bit, cheating more towards the inside, was able to wrap around and get that shot in on Holliday. Well, that's one of the reasons that Archie Montemayor is the Top Gun leader heading into this event. Archie Montemayor putting up ridiculous numbers this year. Him and Colt, both in the top 5, and just looking awesome this year. Their team, X Factor, has not performed. They're not doing bad at all, but the thing is that they're not. They want to be winning tournaments again. They're the world champs right now. They had an awesome, amazing come-from-behind victory against Edmonton Impact in the finals in Orlando to win the World Cup in dramatic fashion. And it was actually cool because, what a storybook ending for the Planet Eclipse roster last season. New season of the roster. Actually, the first episode is playing at lunch tomorrow. So definitely going to want to tune in for that. Let your friends know. It's a fascinating story. Look behind the scenes at Chicago Aftershock. But yeah, man, X Factor had an amazing end of the year. And now they're up 1-0 over Tampa Bay Damage. Again, must-win situation for those guys on the right-hand side of your screen, the world champs, San Antonio X Factor.
And right now, under split screen breakout, Damage on your left, still with a major penalty for 1 minute 11 seconds. On your right, X Factor on the breakout. Heavy
guns up for X Factor, even though they sprint out towards the sides. Let's see if it paid any dividends. Nope. Keith Brown able to get in the snake, and 4 players alive for Damage. They still have Dalton Vanderbilt in that box. Oh, early death on the D side for San Antonio X Factor. So 4 bodies left for them. That evens the count up. Michael Kovar dies too, though. So now just 3 bodies left alive for X Factor. Tampa Bay Damage looking pretty good here in this point. Keith Brown in really good field position. No one in the snake for X Factor, but then I think that's Meter Ninos. Is that Meter? Yep. So Dimitri Ninos able to get in snake 1. He's on your screen right now. And then the left-hand portion of your screen, you can see Keith Brown, who played great for Damage yesterday, Todd.
Yeah, doing a really good job getting in the snake, getting his gun up across the field right away, and then when it's time to launch, going and bunkering out the people in front of him. And Damage, good call by Kevin Brettauer over there to get Keith Brown in the snake right away. He's making it, so send him and give your team a little opportunity to get Dalton Vanderbilt out of that box. So almost burnt this whole major off, 5 seconds before Dalton Vanderbilt comes out. We got Brian Smith and Jacob Edwards over there on the Dorito side. Which way is Dalton going to go? He's going to book it to the snake. Timmy Probst sees him coming, makes an adjustment, and comes in behind Keith Brown. So 2 bodies down for X Factor. Damage now has all 5 bodies on the field and the field position. So unable to capitalize on that power play.
Well, on a power play like that, you definitely need to get a G in the braking and capitalize on it right away. When a team like Damage, you let them get in their spots and don't shoot anybody, they're going to lock it up and they're going to grind that penalty down for sure.
Archie backed way up off his spot. Ooh, almost gets shot, but able to get in. He's trying to get creative to try to help out his boy, Meter Ninos. Much better field position for Tampa Bay Damage here in this snake.
Oh, Keith Brown almost caught one from Ninos right there. Good thing he's quick on that reaction. Archie Montemayor coming into that snake side temple, trying to help out Ninos.
Oh, getting shot. Oh, never mind. Sorry. That was a bouncer. Another bouncer.
Colt Roberts over there, the lone survivor for X Factor on the Dorito side, sitting in that Dorito 2, also looking across the field. Keith Brown going to back up, try and get a shot on him across the field. There's Jacob Edwards on your screen right there in the Dorito side can. He's going to back up and try and get some shots in on the snake. He can focus on the snake because Brian Smith is in that Dorito 1 heads up with only 1 body in front of him and nobody gunned up on him. Brian Smith could actually make a move right now if he wanted to. But no need to throw his body away. Up, and there he does dive into small Dorito. Now he's mirrored up with Colt. Here comes Keith Brown. Going to trade out with Ninos. And Dalton Vanderbilt going to take advantage and go all the way across on the X Factor side of the field. Archie Montemayor going to try and come out wide, but he gets clipped by Timmy Probst, I believe, on the fill out to the snake. And here comes the feeding frenzy from Tampa Bay Damage.
So Tampa Bay Damage is going to tie this one up here, 1 apiece. Nice work by, well, pretty much everyone on Damage did some nice work. I was going to say nice work by Keith Brown, taking out Dimitri Ninos, who was in front of him. But Dalton, he got stuck in that penalty box, and he came out, went snake side. He's been playing on the D side, and he likes this D side. He actually said in an interview, he's like, oh, yeah, no more snake for me, man. I just want to play this D side. Well, sure enough, lo and behold, second point in to your first game, he's going to be in the snake.
Yeah, I don't blame Skinny Kevin for making that move. It's it's not Dalton's fault that he's fast and versatile. Yeah. Well, maybe it is his fault, but Kevin
it's
tried
probably
to
his parents' fault actually.
Kevin tried to utilize him over there, but Dalton's like, hey man, I want to play on the Dorito side. Let me get over there, and he's gonna. If you're gonna play where you're happy, play your best. So
coming out of yesterday, X Factor going 0-2. So on paper, you got to give this one to Damage. Damage went 2-0 yesterday, but attacking both these teams very close. But just X Factor having a real tough time finishing, defending, and then of course you can't really take too much out of the clutch ability of X Factor. That team's been together for so long. They got Colt Roberts and Archie Montemayor on that team. They got Grayson Goff back in the lineup now. Like we said, I don't think he was here yesterday. Because remember we were asking, we're like, we haven't seen Grayson playing. Grayson's been playing great. So it's I was kind of mind-boggled as to why he wasn't on the field. Get a look at our colorful stats crew.
Those guys do a heck of a job up there. We spend a lot of hours a day up there and to bring you the best stats we can possibly have.
Yeah, man, it's important for the sport. Without stats, there's no objective understanding of who's the best. It's just all story. Let's check out this replay. And don't get me wrong, I love me a good story, but without stats, you don't really have a sport. So that's what they're about. So here we go. There's Keith Brown. Nice rundown for Keith Brown of Dimitri Ninos.
Keith Brown.
And Todd, we see this over and over and over again.
We
keep seeing this play out. The teams that are attacking on the snake side and filtering tons of bodies through there are winning points and winning games. It's kind of becoming a no-brainer now.
I mean, in 95% of all field layouts ever, the snake is pretty much where the business gets handled.
Yeah, if you're not boxing out and dunking on the snake side right here, you're going to have a long tournament.
Let me tell you something after this point over here. As X Factor loses Dixon Yang and Billy Bernaccia coming out to the snake side, leaving just Archie Montemayor again to do some heavy lifting. Looking at Dan Holliday, Chad Bougere, and Ramzi El Youssef on the snake side.
Jason Edwards, though, dropping out of his bunker for Tampa Bay Damage to get things a little closer to even. 3 bodies left alive for X Factor, 4 for Damage. But again, Damage is just dominating on the snake side.
And so Tampa Bay now, Daniel Holiday, Archie Montemayor is filled to the corner successfully this time. He's going to look down the wire, but Daniel Holiday is going to load up, and Chad Bougere is going to back up and put the pressure on him, see if Holiday can make it through that cut, cross to the other side. But Ramzi Al-Youssef has now filled over to the Dorito side. Damage did lose one body. Jason Edwards got shot by Grayson Goff, but 2 bodies over there. Actually, 2 bodies for X Factor over there as well. They do have Scott Kemp and Grayson Goff still alive on the Dorito side, just Archie Montemayor over here. So it is a 4-on-3 situation. But Chad Bougere backed up to Snake 1. He can shoot across the field. There goes Dalton Vanderbilt. He's going to crawl into the 50 Dorito. Chad Bougere now has shots at both the Dorito side and Archie over here on the Snake side.
Yeah, his point is slowed down a little bit because of that. You know, we're seeing this a little bit when bodies drop and there's one guy left alive on one side of the field and another guy left alive on the other. They cross it up, and it's going to slow the pace of the attackers down. It hasn't really been effective to score points that way. I think we've only seen maybe 1 or 2 points all weekend in which high body situations have lost that point.
Yeah.
You know, some words. I'm sorry to interrupt. These games seem to be going a lot slower than they were yesterday.
I don't know. I mean, we saw a 7-3 game in the last one, and I just think that when you damage is methodical.
Ooh, Archie Montemayor with a nice shot on Holiday.
I was going to say the bodies started to drop, but just still not enough X Factor players left alive to staunch the attack. So now X Factor is going to go up another one here. So 13-24 left to go. So Todd, what were we talking about?
Okay, so somebody asked me yesterday, who were the best players of all time? And one of my top 5 players of all time was Angel Fergoza. And he looked at me crazy. He's like, Angel Fergoza, he's like, he only played the Snake. And I'm like, yeah, he only played the Snake, but he only played the Snake for Dynasty for 10 straight years. And he was the first guy into the Snake every single time. He would shoot at least 2-3 bodies a game.
And he was going there.
Sometimes, yeah, he's going there. And I mean, it didn't matter. He figured out a way to get in there. And sometimes he'd get in there, you'd dive into your bunker, you'd look up, and everybody'd be walking off the field. And you're like, what just happened? Well, Angel just crawled into the Snake, shot his mirror, crawled all the way down to their end of the Snake, and shot everybody.
Yeah.
Game after game after game for 10 straight years.
Yeah, until his knee started. Until it's just like typical, man. Guys do it until the body falls apart, and that's what happened to Angel. That's why you don't see him out there anymore. Luckily for Alex Frazier, he's still been able to keep it together physically.
Well, also lucky for Alex Frazier. Alex Frazier was able to play the Snake. He also played the Doritos for Dynasty. For a long time. Alex played all over the place. Angel went to the Snake every single game for 10 straight years and was a major factor in Dynasty's success.
And I think the point that you're trying to make, correct me if you're wrong, is that he was a quiet killer. He didn't talk about himself very much. He didn't get the glory that some of the guys on that team got, but he was so efficient. He was so consistent, and he was a guy that the team could count on, playing arguably the most important position on a team, the best team ever, the most successful team ever during their rise to prominence.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't overstate that, man.
You really can't.
Which sends a lesson to anyone coming up. It's like, look, don't talk about yourself too much. Don't talk about it. Be about it, and be that role player. Be that guy the team can count on, and you'll be a legend, man.
3 of my top guys are guys that half the people that are watching now have never even heard of. So on the breakout here, Tampa Bay Damage up 2-1. X Factor shooting a couple bodies on the break early this time, getting Keith Brown and Timmy Probst off the field. And here comes X Factor now with 3 bodies in the Snake in the 50. They got Ninos now. He's going to look to make the cross onto Damage's side of the field. Just Paul Everett.
It's a huge point
over here as Paul Everett gets shot in the back from across the field from looks like Montemayor.
Todd, huge point for X Factor right here. And again, loading up the Snake, getting it done, getting into the Snake, shooting bodies out. They put 3 guys over here, and Colt Roberts came to the Snake side at this point. We haven't seen Colt Roberts over here at all yet this tournament, and now we're going to have a tie game here. It's going to be 2-2 with 12:26 to go. Yeah, so awesome work by X Factor to understand the crucial elements of this field layout that need to be addressed, and well executed play there by the 3 players in the Snake. It was cool to see Colt come over here on the Snake side. We never get to see Colt on the Snake side.
No, and I saw Archie Montemayor actually on the other side of the field too, I think.
Well, maybe that was an audible by Ryan Brand. Let's check out this replay here. So on the breakout,
there's Kovar Ninos.
Ninos digs into the mud and then sees the lanes open, gets into the Snake. immediately gets right up in there. Look at the flip side. Keith Brown diving into the snake, and he makes it in there alive. No, actually, I think he got shot off.
He got clipped as he drove up in there, and then right away, right behind him.
And that enabled so off the break shooting of X Factor, and then not able to fill in. But they know that's what needed to happen. So point goes to X Factor. 2-2 is the score. We'll be right back after this. Here we go. 2-2 is the score, tied up. Still tons of time left. And now both teams more of a conservative breakout. That off the break shooting, the pressure is on. And everyone's got those guns rolling here towards the snake side of the field to staunch the attack from both sides. But it looks like Billy Bernacchi is like, I don't care, I'm getting into the snake. And he gets in there low, crawls up, and then here comes damage. Dan Holiday, not to be stopped either. He gets to mirror that move for Billy Bernacchi. And so Holiday and Bernacchi, but it looks like Bernacchi got clipped, and that's going to be a major penalty.
Man, another major penalty thrown out here. He got clipped, actually, as he was crawling up, Maddie, it looked like on this side of the field. So losing 2 players right away and a major penalty against damage is counterproductive to winning. 2-2. When you're 2-2 right now, you don't want to take chances like that.
Yeah, I didn't quite see where that shot came, but the penalty was called, and Bernacchi comes off, and it looks like they pull out Archie and put him in the box, so that's another gigantic loss for X Factor in this point. Still 3 players alive. They got Yang, Goff, and Roberts. So let's see if those 3 guys can play through this next minute and 29 seconds to get their star Archie out of the box. And here comes Chad Bougier with a big run down the highway, and he is going to execute. Dixon Yang dives over the bunker, stays alive too.
You know, you talked about that actually yesterday, Maddie. You said we're going to see some long coast-to-coast runs from, you know, like Chad Bouchier's and, you know, the people with stilts for legs.
Yeah,
he got there so fast.
Well, again, burst speed, man. Burst speed is a gigantic weapon. If you can go from 0 to 100, or whatever your top end speed is, from bunker to bunker, it's really tough to track you cross field. It's hard to shoot those guys, and most importantly, it surprises the guy in front of you. And Chad Bougier is one of the best in paintball at that burst speed moves, and we just saw a little bit of it right there. So nice work. Tampa Bay Damage didn't lose a body, it looked like, there to put up their next point. So 3-2 is the score.
And still 1 minute left. They were able to grind 1 minute off that penalty, 1 minute and 4 seconds actually. And when it comes to penalties, that 4 seconds makes a difference, as we all well know. So still able to grind 1 minute off, but they still have 1 minute major penalty. 3-2. Look at this replay, Todd.
And here comes Chad all the way. Blocka.
And watch when he dives. You can see how he sticks. That's going to be
gotta go.
Hey, and if it wasn't...
he did a total core sample right there.
Yeah, pulled a core sample. I'll tell you what, if it hadn't rained for 2-3 days straight before this, look at this, backwards. I love it. Watch the speed. Watch the speed. And then perfectly executed. Chad Bougier.
Cleared for takeoff.
I wouldn't say perfectly executed because
no, I was going to say, but if it wasn't so sticky out here, he would have glided through that.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't so sticky out of here, he'd end up in a snake corner.
He was going that fast. He got there so quick. Just amazing. You know, and like you said, we're going to see a lot more of that down the highway moves by people like Carl Markowski, Chad Bouchier,
Dan Holiday.
I mean, we're going to see a lot of that as the weekend progresses.
Oh, Alex Goldman, man.
Oh, dude.
Woo, Alex Goldman was
Marcelo Margot.
Keith Brown,
yeah. Marcelo Margot backing up Alex Goldman. We saw some awesome snake plays, but that's what's getting interesting about this field ad is the players are starting to figure it out. Alex Frazier had some good moves for San Diego Dynasty. Kyle Spicco was flying over here too. So these top teams, man, who are starting to figure the field out the best. are really putting a lot of their fast, aggressive guys over here, Snake side, and just throwing punches. So, and that's why I can't wait to see the rest of these games. Speaking of Dynasty, they're coming up next. They're playing against Houston Heat. Houston Heat now 2-1, Dynasty 2-0. So,
and on the break, able to even it up. X Factor getting one shot in the break, but losing Grayson Goff in the process is X Factors. They're down to 3 players on 4 from damage. Damage up 1 point, Todd.
Yeah, but Timmy Probst getting into the Snake for damage. He's mirrored up with Ninos right now, but Ninos looking like he's having some gun problems. Oh, got the barrel cleared out there now. Got Colt Roberts behind him. I wonder if they switched Colt Roberts over here just because he kept getting stuck over on that Dorito side. They couldn't get anything out of him. I mean, we've seen Colt play the Snake, some like sporadic events, here and there they put him in the Snake. But I wonder if it's like, hey, man, he's a big killer for us. It's hard to push that Dorito side. Let's see if we can get him going over here.
Yeah, I hope he got some spins in practice. I mean, Colt obviously walks every bunker of this field meticulously. However, it's just a little bit different when you switch sides and you've been looking at the same angles over and over again. You get them down to a science, and then you have to switch sides. Oh, Archie coming off early. Looks like he got shot out of his bunker.
He made it out of the box real quick, but he was only there for about 10 seconds.
Well, did he get shot coming out the box?
No, he actually made it, but the problem was his damage was so far up on the Dorito side. As you see right here, they're far up in the Dorito side. The 50 Dorito was able to get a shot at him across the field.
So now with Tampa Bay damage in this lead, still tons of time. A point will be scored here. But advantage definitely goes to Tampa Bay damage. They have Jacob Edwards, Brian Smith, Timmy Probst, and Paul Everett on the field as they're looking behind Colt Roberts. Backing up Meter Ninos in the Snake. And there's the Snake battle. Dimitri looking inside on the right-hand portion of your screen for X Factor. And Timmy Probst gunning down that wire for Tampa Bay damage.
And damage, like you said, they're able to slow these games down at their will. They're really, really good at doing that. X Factor, they're a go-getter team. They really have to get something going. It's only 3-2, but right now damage is in full control of this whole match so far.
Ninos on your screen, playing in tight. There's Timmy Probst right there, staying down the wire. Timmy's got Everett behind him. Everett comes out of the corner. He's now in the temple. Oh, and Everett gets a shot in on Colt Roberts. So they're going to gang up on Ninos now. And it looks like X Factor is going to blow the horn as Brian Smith was up there in the 50 Dorito.
He was pretty content just hanging out there, too. It didn't look like he was really wanting to go anywhere.
Well, that's the thing. When you combine Tampa Bay damage, totally willing to just kick it if they're up any points whatsoever when they're up a ton of bodies, which is smart. They're a smart team. Combined with Ryan Brand, who, no cares are given about blowing that horn when he sees that things aren't going perfect, or not perfect, but when he knows it's over, blow the horn, let's reset it,
Right.
So when you combine that, it's what you just got right there. So 2 points now for Tampa Bay damage with their lead over San Antonio X Factor. With 8 minutes and 5 seconds to go here, can San Antonio X Factor get back in it and beat damage? Must-win situation for them. They do not want to go 0-3, thus almost assuring, depending on how things go out or play out today, maybe playing in a relegation match. So that's how important this second half of this game is. We'll be right back after this.
They say don't be perfect, be clutch. Being clutch is one of my biggest assets. You can rely on me to be clutch, and I rely on the Vanquish. My name is Damian Ryan. I play for Team Infamous, and the Vanquish takes my game to another level.
Welcome back. I am here with Grayson Goff in X Factor's pit. Now, there have been quite a few penalties today. When you're going into a penalty point and you have the disadvantage, is it better strategy to try to even up the score by getting some bodies off the break, or do you want them to just sit in their bunkers and try to run out the clock?
We're trying to win the point. I mean, if we can win a point down a body, it takes a lot of momentum off them and gives us a ton of momentum, and we're usually able to burn that whole penalty. So, no, we're going out there trying to win. We're trying to shoot a guy off the break, even it up, and then push.
Awesome. Okay, well, they are down 2 points right now. Damage is up 4-2. We'll see if they can close this gap.
Love Grayson Goff, man. He's doing a new thing. I think it's BKI paintball. You know, doing clinics and writing newsletters and helping younger players. And you know, Grayson's just about giving back and trying to. You know, it's a really cool thing. It's new too. So you know, definitely support Grayson Goff. He's trying to help people out in this game, and he's a great player. And I'm glad he's back here in the roster for
Yeah, right.
for X Factor. They need him. But yeah, so right now X Factor losing Billy Bernaccia and Michael Kovar. So losing their snake push. Archie trying to do damage control. He gets across, able to get that big gap, across that big gap, and now trying to put paint. And it looks like Archie might have dipped one in here on Chad Bougier to slow the attack for damage. Getting closer to even on the body count. 3 bodies left alive for San Antonio X Factor, 4 for Tampa Bay Damage. But the scary thing, Todd, is that Tampa Bay Damage, they're up by 2, and they have a body advantage. Well, you look for the entrenching tools to come out.
Yeah, I mean, they know how to do it. You know, they're experts at digging themselves in there. Archie Montemayor's over here trying to get out, but I believe that's Jason Edwards over there in the Dorito 1. Just shooting across the field, trying to keep Archie from getting in that snake. Plus, Dalton Vanderbilt's up there in that Dorito side temple, gunned up straight ahead of him with El Youssef in the snake side can, also looking across the field. Damage has a body. Daniel Holiday in the snake side corner.
Oh, Archie is screaming, trying to call his shot cross field, saying he shot him, and he did, and that's probably going to draw a major penalty. So a major penalty is assessed on Ramzi El Youssef, and so Archie shot him, called the shot, got the referee to go in there and check him out. A penalty is called, and that's a huge blow to Tampa Bay Damage and some wind at the back for San Antonio X Factor. What a huge momentum swing, Todd.
Yeah, right there, and here comes Colt Roberts right away to close out that game, and Archie's going to go run the flag in.
What a massive point for Archie Montemayor, man. Archie saw that he lost his snake side. He makes the big bump across that huge open lane from stand-up to stand-up from the D side to the snake side. Is able to, I think he shot Bougier, and then he shoots El Youssef. El Youssef gets a penalty, so pretty much single-handedly, Archie Montemayor, well, not single-handedly because Colt Roberts shot Dan Holiday and Dalton Vanderbilt. So beautiful work by the 2 studs for X Factors, Colt Roberts and Archie Montemayor.
Yeah, Archie definitely opened that game up right there with the shot in on Chad, and then getting the shot in on El Youssef. You know, those 3 bodies right there would allow X Factor getting back in that game, just as we're talking about Damage digging it in and burning the clock out. Damage now only up 1 point with 5:47 on the clock, and going to be playing with 1 body in the box for the next minute and 41 seconds.
You know, and when you're at 4-3, you know, you're down by 1 point. You really don't want to get, you know, any penalties like Tampa Bay Damages. Now they're giving X Factor a chance now to come back, and they're not playing bad. So let's just take a look at this replay, Maddie, and kind of walk us through it.
Checking out the E-play here. So check it out. Archie Montemayor calling his shot crossfield, adamant about the fact that he shot Ramzi El Youssef. And you see guys do that sometimes. But not, you know, but look at that. The referee gets in there, pulls El Youssef out. See the red bird of death go in the air. And it looks like X Factor calling a timeout here. As it looks like that was Jason Edwards running into the box. And last player was Dan Holiday. So awesome work by Archie Montemayor, keeping his team in it. Must-win situation for them. Let's check in with Lauren Kelly down in the pits.
Hey guys, we are on an X Factor timeout right now. I am in Damage's pit with Chad Bougier. Now, there have been quite a few major penalties. We've some for your advantage and some that are a disadvantage for you. When it's for your advantage and you see X Factor get a penalty midpoint, do you guys have a predetermined strategy on how you move forward, or do you really just need to communicate on what the next game plan is?
We don't really have a set plan. At that point, you just never know where the bodies are going to be in that situation. So more or less, we just have to tighten up. We used to be really bad about just getting up and trying to run the last guys down, and they would turn it on us. Today, if they get a penalty, we're just going to work together. We got a couple calls to locate the bodies and put it together. So we just got to tighten it up and don't get any of our own.
You guys got a major penalty during that one, so you're going to be a body down going into this next point. How difficult is it to make sure they don't get the advantage on this kind of field layout since it's so aggressive?
So far, I mean, we practiced a lot of penalty points, and so far, I don't think we've one of the points or any of the points we played 4-on-5. I don't think we've lost a single one. So as long as we can keep playing our game, I mean, 4-on-5, it's no big deal at all.
All right, well, X Factor is down 1 point right now. We'll see if they can tie it up in this next point.
Split screen breakout here. X Factor on your left, Damage on your right. Let's see which bodies drop first. No one coming off X Factor yet. They have a body advantage because of that major penalty on Ramzi Al-Yusuf. And it looks like, who's in the box for them? Is that Dalton?
Jason Edwards.
No, yeah, it's Jason Edwards. So Jason Edwards is stuck in the box as one of their big guns in the backfield. And dominating the snake right now is X Factor. No one in the snake for Damage. 2 players in the snake for X Factor. Billy Bernaccia with his playing through a broken wrist right now, and it's just gutting through it. And Michael Kovar right behind him. Michael also beat up a little bit. His ankle's pretty bashed. And still, though, man, they know how crucial they are on this snake-heavy field. Those are the 2 first attackers in the snake. Do you think maybe that's why they put Colt over there to give Michael a rest, maybe, Todd? Because Michael's the second guy to go, depending on the line, but possible.
Maybe.
Anyway, Colt is still on this snake side, though, and it looks like Timmy Probst's coming off. So things are looking better and better here for San Antonio X Factor to try to tie this game up. 4 minutes and 39 seconds to go, and here comes the push down the D side as Archie Montemayor and Scotty Kemp are pushing down Michael Kovar.
And that was Colt Roberts shooting across the field. What a great shot.
Yeah, so
And
Michael
there goes
Kovar.
Ryan Smith as well. Almost burning off this whole major, though.
Yeah, they got to watch that. Watch the box. They got to be careful. And they're going to try to hang it to see if they can preserve. Michael Kovar gimping in. Oh, Kovar is just gutting through that ankle injury, man. There's some guys playing through injuries here. Rainey Stanzik's back's messed up. Kovar, Moorhead just came back from that torn Achilles tendon. Bernaccia's wrist.
Everybody seems to be falling apart these days. But you know what? That's one thing about paintball players. They don't care. They sack up. I'll deal with it later.
Yeah, tough group.
Look
of
at this
guys.
replay, Maddie.
Yeah, so checking out the replay, there's Archie moving to the 50 on the D side of the field. And then there's Colt Roberts switching positions with Archie over here, snake side. Colt Roberts right behind Kovar. And then Kovar backing up. Billy Bernaccia squirreling down. And nice coordinated moves there for San Antonio X Factor to utilize the advantage they had off the break, the power play, and to tie it up. 4 minutes just about left, 4:09. We're going to be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Big point, Chad. And the 100 hose starts to control me.
So we are now heading to the final moments of this matchup here. The second day of competition at the 2014 PSP Chicago Open. The notoriously a-hard tournament to take the victory. And these 2 teams right now, Damage trying to avoid taking their first loss. And San Antonio X Factor desperately needs a win here. If they lose this one, they'll go 0-3.
Well, good job right there by number 23, to get in the snake. That's Daniel Holiday for damage. Get out there real quick because you need to leave one of those back spots open for the guy coming out of the box real quick. So, I mean, damage has pretty much played that spot on. It's 4-4 with 3 minutes and 33 seconds. 3 minutes and 43 seconds left, though, Todd.
All tied up. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's getting tense, man. I'm like, God, who's going to win this one? Oh, wow, Holiday.
That was a shot.
On the close-up there, just owns that Meter.
Yep.
Yeah, just straight up owns Meter in that gunfight here. So that's not helping X Factor's chances. And now Kovar doing damage control, dipping out to the back bunker on the snake side. What an amazing shot by Holiday. And now Holiday in the driver's seat here in the snake. Looking real solid now to try to put the winning point on the board as time is ticking off that clock. 3 minutes to go here.
And I was going to say, Damage is one of those teams, they're perfectly fine just letting this clock run down to, 30 seconds and then just making their push, winning the game, calling it a day.
And there goes Chad Bougere. Chad Bougere getting shot out of that small Dorito. Jason Edwards now, who came out of the box, went straight to the snake corner, is now in the back of snake 1. He's looking across the field. He's got Daniel Holiday with him. Only one body over here for X Factor on the snake side. I believe it's Kovar in the snake corner. Archie's in the Dorito side can. And then they got Grayson Goff and Colt Roberts over there on the Dorito side as well.
Well, they're in about as good a spots as you can be to lock it up because they still have 4 bodies. Only looking at 3 bodies. Grayson stepped up, shot Dalton, and Archie stepped up and shot Chad. So that's kind of the saving grace right now because, Damage has the snake, and that's the spot. So they got 2 players in there right now. Jason Edwards, move up the D side, and he got him. So I think was that Jason Edwards that got that shot cross field?
No, Jason wasn't actually shooting. I think it came straight down the wire.
Well, that's going to even up the body count. But now the problem for X Factor is, is that they don't have great field position because Holiday, he's one more section away from really making life incredibly hard for Archie.
Well, if Jacob Edwards can pinch out Archie Montemayor on the Dorito side, then he'll push him right into Daniel Holiday. Now that Daniel Holiday has crossed onto X Factor's side of the field in the snake. So Archie living behind his gun, he's actually able to dip out. Okay. And now he's a little bit more protected in that Dorito 1, but it could have gotten a little hairy right there.
Well, did you see he almost got shot right there by Holiday?
Yeah, that was real close.
Well, because Holiday had bumped up one little baby section over here on the snake, past these right at the 50 now, at a spot that not a lot of guys have been playing. But Chris.
Across the field shot right there. Here comes X Factor. They're wide open over there in the Dorito side.
Oh, wow. That was a huge point for X Factor. And then smartly, to conserve the time, to just give any chance at all for Damage to try to put another point on the board to tie it up and take it to overtime. But that was a crucial point right there, the crucial point for San Antonio X Factor to stay in this tournament. Not just this game, but the tournament. They went 0-2 yesterday, had a bad day yesterday. And wow, that was impressive.
Yeah, that was Jacob Edwards trying to come down the Dorito side of the field, and I think Archie Montemayor slipped one in on him, which opened the whole Dorito side up, leaving Daniel Holiday over here by himself alone with Jacob Edwards or Jason Edwards. Wow. Look at this replay, Maddie.
So check this out, man. So this was the first awesome gunfight win for Dan Holiday, and then Dan Holiday clocked in. Let's look at it right here. So
it was a shot and a half.
So
man.
He comes out. Boom. I think he got more than one on him. Yeah, he shot him in the loader and the head. So Meter getting owned in that gunfight. Got to tighten up a little bit, Meter. And then nice work by Holiday to long play that point. But, it was really the players for X Factor on the D side that, should be awarded the medal for that point right there. So it looks like a timeout is called. Todd, what sort of play do you think we're going to see at a Tampa Bay Damage right now with just 47 seconds? We haven't actually seen a situation like this yet in this tournament, and I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to play out. There is not really, with those open lanes in the center, it's not like your traditional, okay, we only have 40 seconds. Well, let's just punch right up the center, and then on the stunt try to send guys out wide. So what do you think they're going to do?
Well, we got Keith Brown walking on the field right now too. So I fully expect him to run towards that snake, try and get in there on the break. Chad Bougier walking on the field. Expect him to use his speed and ability to shoot on the break behind him to get something going on the snake side. Timmy Probst very good at shooting on the break. Probably leave him back there in the back center, try and guarantee a kill on this side. But I'm sure X Factor is expecting something like this to come. So, I would expect them to, hold some bodies in the back and try and make sure to gun up on Keith Brown. That penalty playing a huge factor. That El Youssef got a couple points ago because, Jason Edwards ended up having to serve that penalty. He had to start in the box. So he's been their guy on the Dorito side that's been locking that Dorito side down, staying alive over there, having him start in that box the last point. Not only did they lose the point they got the penalty, but they lose the point where he started in the box and was out of position when X Factor started coming down that Dorito side. He's the one that's been locking that Dorito side down over there with Dalton. So Edwards now back in his spot. Dalton Vanderbilt back in the game. They'll use his speed to get up that Dorito side and, fully expect Damage to be guns up, pushing right away, trying to force the issue. It's, again, going to be a matter of who can get kills on the break. And if Damage can get some kills on X Factor, then I fully expect them just to come charging from everywhere.
But where are those spots? Do you think doubling up? Man, it's going to be tough. It's not an easy field to just – I know it's only 47 seconds, but there's not a lot of easy spots to get to lock up.
And that's what I was going to say. I think the only way to win in 47 seconds is to get a good G on the break. If you allow them to get in those spots, Maddie, maybe two.
I think you need two. To be honest, I think you need two.
If you allow them to get in their spots, you're not going to win this game in 47 seconds.
So look for two bodies potentially. If two bodies don't drop from X Factor off this break, you're looking at Damage on your screen. There's Timmy Probst, Keith Brown, left-hand side of your screen. Chad Bougier, Dalton, Todd, fast lineup here. Well, the whole team's pretty fast.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah.
They could just draw guys out of a hat and be like, oh, sweet, we got Holiday.
That's a fast line.
So on the breakout are any bodies. So X Factor goes wide. They lose one. Now heavy guns up for X Factor. They did lose the body going out wide. And here comes Chad Bougier, and he goes all the way through the center, and it looks like he got two. That might have done it. Yes, bodies dropping off. It's just Colt Roberts left alive. I think Tampa Bay Damage, guys, is going to be able to tie this game up and send it into overtime. What an amazing performance here by the boys from Tampa Bay Damage if they are able to close this point out, and I think they're going to be able to do it. Wow. What an impressive.
Yes. Hey, guys. Somebody go and grab the flag. Here we go.
They're still going to need to get the flag.
Seconds.
And a minor penalty, and I think that's a minor penalty, and they are going to pull the last player out. I don't think they'll be able to have a guy left, and it was Archie Montemayor. Was it Archie in the back bunker? No, was it Colt Roberts? I think Colt Roberts was able to get out and stay alive in that back bunker.
No, Colt Roberts got shot.
I thought so too.
Colt got shot out of the Dorito 1. Archie got shot out of the snake can.
Okay, but it looked like somebody was pumping their fist. I think it was the dead body walking off, but looked like a minor penalty. Looking in the pits right there as a very happy. It looks like X Factor. I think they were able to hold off the attack. What an awesome job though, and that move's there now. Todd, did you see that move from Chad up the center?
Yeah, the same thing Oliver did yesterday.
Yeah, but Chad totally committed.
Right.
It was on the stunt. Once they shot the wide guy on the snake side, Chad was off to the races. He knew that the guns were looking wide and that no one was looking up that center after that initial burst. So Chad goes and just hits the afterburners, gets all the way to the backfield, and you think he took two with him. It was a great move, but I can see they're arguing over right now. Colt Roberts pleading his case with the referee. There was a minor penalty flag thrown in the air, and I thought I saw the referee on that D side that threw that penalty calling the player out from that penalty, because that's what happens. The penalty happens, another guy comes out. So I think that's what happened. I think X Factor's going to win this one.
Let's just kind of sit back and let the smoke clear. I'm kind of interested to find out what happened. I'm interested to see who the
Where's
minor.
Lauren Kelly?
Yeah, I want to see.
She's probably over there trying to figure out what's going on too.
Give me Lauren Kelly.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Chris, what were you saying?
I want to see where the minor penalties is the one thing that's questioning right now. I want to know who is it on, because there's so many bodies over there. It's hard to tell on who was the flag thrown on. And I seen one of the Damage players run over to the box pointing in, So I don't know exactly what happened.
Well, Damage is going to be pleading their case, because they want to go 3-0, or they want to have a chance to go 3-0 here and send this to overtime. But, no point on the board. There's still, that 4 seconds up there, so it hasn't been decided yet. The refs are having a conference.
X Factor kind of decided already. They're walking on the field. They're ready to go.
X Factor's, they're selling it.
We're out of here.
Hey, sell it, guys. I got to try at least. It's like after a title fight and both guys are pumping their fists in the air like, no, we won. No, we won. Well, let's check in with Lauren Kelly. That's why we got her on the sidelines. Lauren, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, I am here with X Factor. They just won their first match of the weekend. Congratulations. You guys were watching. Damage was coming hard. It looked like they were going to make it. Were you sweating it, Ryan, watching from the sideline?
Yeah, it turned into absolute chaos. I think we had the advantage of just being able to sit there. They forgot about Scott in the corner and just didn't work out for him.
Scott, I think a lot of people would assume going into a point when there's only 47 seconds left on the clock, you are up 1 point, that you guys would play it safe, get in your bunkers, and just try to hide.
That's the thing. I don't like that strategy. A lot of teams try to do that. Hey, we're up. Let's kill the clock. Even in penalties, hey, let's cross it up and kill the clock. And the aggressor, most of the times they win. So it's almost better even when you're down bodies or even up, play at them, play heads up, try to slow them down. Don't let them get into the 50s and try to gun battle. So I feel like, that puts you at an advantage. We tried to do that. We tried to put our wide guys out and play heads up.
You guys definitely were aggressive today. How are the field conditions today compared to yesterday?
Feels a little better. Drying up, I think most of the players kind of soaked up most of the water, so.
All right, cool. Well, congratulations. That was a huge win. X Factor just beat Damage for their first win this weekend. Stay tuned. We have another match coming up.
So there's your answer, Maddie.
Yeah. So a happy Scotty Kemp,
Yeah.
and yeah, man, they that's a great win for them. That's a huge win. That preserves their chances in this tournament. Now X Factor is 1-2. In the end, this is why we love watching the Saturday games, because we're going to slowly find out who's going to make it to Sunday, who's playing in relegation games. Still, though, X Factor is on the bubble in that 1-2, and X Factor has to play Upton 187 crew. Upton 187 crew for sure on that Razor's Edge, as they're past the Razor's Edge. They're 0-3, so most likely
they're bleeding.
Yeah, they're bleeding profusely.
But
But even though they had all of the 5 major penalties in that last game, there was the fight there, and it lives in 187 crew. We're just waiting for it to emerge. And they got to stop getting penalties. But that's an easier fix than all the other things that possibly could go wrong, like not aggressive enough or playing terrible. And, but the penalties have been hurt in 187. So, but next up, San Diego Dynasty taking on Houston Heat. Heat's 2-1, and Dynasty is 2-0. So Dynasty's first game of the day, Todd.
Yes, and I mean, this is where it gets crazy because Dynasty's playing Heat. Heat's got to win. Heat's 2-1. If Heat loses, then they're going to be 2-2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the X Factor Crew game. Crew's 0-3. If X Factor beats Crew, then they'll also be 2-2. And then Dynasty hasn't played Damage the last game of the morning session. So Damage, if they lose to Dynasty, they could be 2-2. So we could have a 3-way tie, if you're going on those predictions right there. I mean, this could be a crazy bracket here between, X Factor, Heat, and Damage. But, I mean, the best thing that Heat could do right now is get a win against Dynasty. And, Dynasty Damage, Dynasty Heat, I mean, these are two big games. Dynasty, they've been smashing people, all season. But, two teams that are very capable of taking them down are the two teams that they have to face today.
And Dynasty yet to lose a prelim match this year. So Heat's going to have to give them their first loss to make that occurrence a reality. We'll see, though. We'll be right back after this. Just about 3 minutes to this game. Stick around.